So today I want to breed some dwarf neon rainbow fish, and I'm going to take you guys along for the journey. I'm also going to be teaching you guys how to do it and all the failures and successes I've had breeding these fish, because they're really not too difficult to breed, but you just need to know a few tricks to be able to breed them in a proper way. Right, so this is the tank we are going to be breeding these guys in. Now you might think this is an empty tank. It's not actually. The fish are already in here, but they're hiding in this corner. The reason being, I only just turned the lights on and they've already done their morning breed for this day, because it's now around noon, so 12 o'clock. And yeah, they've basically already bred. So let me quickly go over the tank setup then. What I've got here is a 60-litre tank, something like that. Not too big at all. You don't really want much bigger, so anywhere from a 10 to 20 gallon in US sizes is fine. Now what I've got else is just a sponge filter and a heater. That's it. That's all you need really. I set the temperature here to 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that is what it's set to. The actual temperature will be a bit lower than that, but I would recommend getting these guys a little bit warmer for them to breed, because they are, they like to be a bit warmer when breeding. Now these, in my opinion, are quite a shy fish. You can see they're still hiding in the back there. They'll probably come out later, so I will get some better shots then, of course. But yeah, other than that, we've got in this tank some spawning mops. Now if you want to know how to make spawning mops, I've got a video on that. I'll link it in the top right hand corner. You can go watch it there. But pretty simple. I got actually 3 spawning mops in here, 2 on the bottom and 1 hanging on the side. That's my setup. It's pretty simple, really not too difficult, and that's all they need. Now before, I did actually have other things in here. I had other plants, I had some fake plants, things like that. Yes, it made the fish more comfortable, but I was finding they were also laying in those places, which was just not really good, because it wasn't collecting the eggs well, and yeah, in the end they would just go to waste. Also, a big mistake I made was actually having other fish in here with them. So I had some stir-by corridors in here with them, and I thought they would be fine, but what I actually found is that, especially in the mops on the floor, the stir-bys would go in and find all the eggs and eat them before I could pick them. So that was a big mistake. So if you're trying to breed these, just put them on their tank, in a tank on their own. That's all you want. Now as for ratios, you want 1 male per 2 to 3 females. At the moment in this tank I've got 3 males and 9 females. I think that's a good ratio, but you can start with as low as just 1 male and 2 or 3 females. That should be good. Go to your local fish store, get some nice healthy ones, condition them up. That's what's also important, feed them some high quality foods, some frozen foods, different things like that, and they'll do really well. Once you got them all nice and fat and healthy, you can put them in the tank, add the spawning mops like I said, and then just leave them be. What you'll find is just after the lights go on in the morning, they'll breed. It's pretty simple. The male lures the female into the mop, and then they do some things, and then eggs fall, and there you go. And then those eggs just fall into the mop. And then what we can do just after, a bit later in the morning, we can go through, take a mop out, see if there are eggs in there, and if there are, I'll take them out and then put them in this container up here, where then they can hatch and finally grow into fry. I will show you this process a minute, so I'll take a mop out and then we can see what kind of eggs we got. Right, so first of all, we're going to be taking a mop out. I'm just going to take any old mop, it doesn't really matter. Of course, we want to do all of them. Now, what is important when you take them out, you want to squeeze all the water out. Reason for this is otherwise you're not going to be able to see the eggs. Now don't worry, you're not going to damage the eggs at all by squeezing. So just squeeze the water out, it'll make the process easier. And here you can see the mop. I'm going to point it down because you want to get yourself some kind of table or stool where you can, lay it on, and it's just a bit easier. Now I can already see tons of eggs. I'll try to get this on camera, but for example here, you can see millions, hundreds of eggs. Let me see if the camera will actually focus on one of these eggs or not. It's going to be quite difficult. Maybe you guys can see. I'll probably get some close-up shots here later. Yeah, you can kind of see there, right? Those are some eggs. So what I'll then do is simply take one of these eggs like so, and then put them in our container. Yes, this is labor intensive, but I find that this is a good method of doing it. And there are also different methods. I will quickly discuss those as well. So yeah, while I pick these eggs, I just want to quickly discuss also some other methods. So you don't have to pick the eggs. What you can also do is have multiple spawning mops and then basically rotate those every day or so. So say today you put one spawning mop in, then the next day you put another one in, but then every day you take the spawning mops out, place them in a different tank where the parents are not, or like no other fish, and then do it that way, because then they'll hatch out as well, and that can work pretty well. Now another method again is to just have some mops, leave them in with the parents for a couple of days, for example like a week or something, or 10 days as I like to do, and then you'll find that after 10 days or a week or so you take the parents out, and then of course the eggs will hatch. Now you might have a few less eggs doing it that way because the parents might get to some of them, so that's the only risk you have, but it usually is quite a good method of doing it. So if you want something that is a bit less labor intensive, then that is a good option. Right, I think that's everything in this first mop, so I'm going to just put this back in. Sometimes you'll miss an egg, but it's not a big deal because then the next day you can find it and then you're good. Also, look at the fish coming out now. Now they know it's safe and they can come out, they will come out. But we got our second mop here too. This will probably also be loaded with eggs. Yep, I can see, wow, loads of eggs here. Right, that is our second mop done. Now there is one more mop here. I will just take this out. Usually there's not many eggs in here because they don't really prefer, they just prefer to do the bottom mops instead of this one. But I always check it because you never know, there might be a sneaky egg in there. Looks like we got nothing today though. Yeah, it looks like this one's empty. Anyway, that's basically the egg picking done for today. That's what I'll do every morning for 10 days straight, like I told you. I think I'll show you the little container here a little bit more in detail, so you can see what I got going on in there. Right, so here's my simple fry container. All this is just a tiny catching, like a fish catching container. I've got a tiny air stone in there doing a few bubbles, like just minuscule bubbles. That's all I want, just to have some water movement. Then what I've also got is a piece of Anubias in here. You really don't need this, but I thought it might be beneficial for if we got any fry hatching out. There might be some infusoria on there for them to eat and things. But then other than that, I just plonked the eggs in here, all of them. Now this water is reverse osmosis water mixed with a bit of tap water. So the TDS is around 100. I measured it yesterday. It was about 100. Now you don't have to use reverse osmosis water. They'll be fine in just normal tap water. But I do find that I can have a bit less calcification and it just works a bit better in general. Also, you could add some methylene blue. I haven't done any of that here. Maybe I should have, because I can see some of them are fungusing over. Some of the, for example, unfertilized eggs, you can maybe see here, those are fungusing over. Of course, you are going to have unfertilized eggs. That is the point with rainbow fish, is I find they produce quite a few eggs, but not all of them are fertilized. So keep that in mind when you're breeding these guys, but in general you'll be quite alright. And you can see some of these, the black ones, those are fertilized, those have baby fish inside of them. I don't know if I can get some really good footage of this or not. It's quite difficult focusing on something so little, but you can see their little tiny eyes in there maybe. I don't know if you guys can see that. I expect the first ones to be hatching soon, since those are from the 10th of December. It's now the 17th, so that means 7 days. They've been a week, so they should be hatching soon. I'm expecting them to hatch soon, you know. That will be good. What I'll probably likely do is just leave them. Maybe I'll feed them a tiny bit, but I'll probably just leave them until day 10, and then I'll put them in this tank. They'll just have way more space to grow out. It'll be way better for them instead of staying in this container. I will probably change some water out in a minute. Also remove some of the unfertilized eggs if possible. I'll just use a pipette for that. Anyways, I think I'll leave it at this for now. I will check in with you guys a few days later, probably on when we've had these in here for 10 days. So that's another 3 days from now. And then I'll probably take the rainbow fish out of here, put them back in a different tank, and then see if we can grow up these fry. Right, it's time to do a little voiceover because I recorded this bit and I don't know where the audio gone. Like the audio is not connected to the video. I don't know what happened. Anyway, basically what I was doing here, this was a couple days later, and it was time to take the rainbow fish out. So I took them all out, put them in a different tank here. Eventually I sold them, I think. But yeah, took them out, and then once that was done, I could release
the fry into the main tank. So these fry were now, I think, free swimming. You know, they were about at that day 10 stage. And yeah, I could put them all in. They were really tiny, really tiny. And yeah, just about free swimming. But then after that, you know, I could start feeding them. So I started with some Hikari first bites actually, which, you know, it's a really good food because it's a really fine powder. And you can actually see them here swimming around, you know, like how tiny they are. They're absolutely minuscule. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to feed them Hikari first bite. So I got that here, and I just take a bit of that out with a little scoop, put it on the water surface, and that's pretty much that.
Alright guys, I do not know how long it's been since the last clip. It's been ages, that's what I know for sure, because I just looked back, the last clip had tiny little fry, and look at this now. We basically got fully grown fish, or not fully grown, semi-fully grown. But as you can see, yeah, we got our fish. These are our Praecox Rainbow fish that we bred, and yeah, they are doing fantastic. As you can see, I got like 100 of them, I think, in total. Like, that's a female there, that's a male. You can see the colors coming through, another male there. Looking absolutely fantastic. I love the ways these guys are looking. And in general, they're doing great. Like, if I come here with my hand, they all come up because they think I'm gonna have food. Look how big that one is. Like, that one is nearly full size, like fully grown. So they are grown really quickly. What I've been feeding them is actually still baby brine shrimp every day. So they get baby brine shrimp every day, but also flake foods now, and also some frozen foods because they are big enough to eat those. And they are doing fantastic. Now, I actually did cull some of these because there were some deformities. Now, I made a whole separate video on that, so if you're gonna want to go watch that, I'll link it here in the top right hand corner. Definitely go check that out, because it is important to also cull fish when you're breeding, because you don't want any of the bad traits going through. And in particular with these fish, we had like some blind ones, or some fish with really tiny eyes. It was really weird. But like I said, go watch the video that I made on culling fish, because there I explain it in more detail. But overall, all these other fish are looking fantastic, really healthy. Actually, let me go feed them for you real quick, just to show you like how active they are when feeding. So if we open it up already, they already know and they get fired up. So we got some fresh brine shrimp from today. And I'm telling you, brine shrimp is their favorite. I have to get my little pipette thingy. And then we just go in here and we take like a whole scoopy thing. And then we go here, we got our brine shrimp, and we simply just dump it in, and they go absolutely nuts. Yeah, they really love this stuff. Like, take a look at all of them go. They love brine shrimp. It's still their favorite. I mean, they also like, you know, flake food and things, but brine shrimp will always be their favorite. It's just the best food also. And they just enjoy it the most because it's live, and yeah, it's just great. Now, you won't really see their bellies going orange because they are quite big now, and then it doesn't really happen. But you can see their bellies getting nice and full, which that is a good sign, of course. But they're absolutely so fast as well, and they're just doing great in general. Now, I'm not sure how long I want to make this video, like, process-wise. Like, do I want to, you know, show them when they're fully grown, or do we think this is enough? I'm not sure. You'll find out by the end of this video, of course. But I think these are, you know, of a size where you can see what they are going to look like. And, you know, just from here on, it's just feeding them, and then they'll grow. Lots of water changes, things like that. And they'll just grow. Overall, you know, breeding these rainbow fish has been really easy, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to be this simple. Actually, at the moment, I also got some other rainbow fish growing up, and these are like at a smaller size, but these are some Bosemani rainbow fish. So I also bred some Bosemani rainbow fish shortly after these Praecox, and they are doing great. They're getting quite big as well. I don't know if you can maybe make some of them out. Of course, the camera's not going to focus because why would it? Yeah, you can kind of see them there. But they're doing absolutely great as well. And I think there's a few hundred in there as well. You can see them here all on the surface. But yeah, so those are doing great. Pretty much the same process. You know, I did the whole same thing with these Bosemanis. Don't think I'll really make a video on these guys because, well, they're kind of the same. Yeah, it's the same process. I might even title this video like how to breed rainbow fish in general, because, you know, all rainbow fish are pretty much the same. You don't really have, okay, maybe you have some special variants that, you know, require some different water parameters, but most of them, and the common ones, they're all quite easy, and they should be fine. So you can still see these guys eat. It's so cool to see. Look at that dude go. He absolutely loves it. But anyway, everything is doing great. So I guess I'm gonna finish off the video there because, yeah, I could wait now another 2 months until they're like fully grown, but hey, what's the point? You know, I got enough footage from them and you can see how they look like. And yeah, the breeding experiment or breeding project has been successful, which is great. Now, if you want to breed these guys at home, you can easily do that. You know, just follow the steps as I mentioned in this video and you'll be good. And you know, rainbow fish are great to breed. They are super easy, super colorful. And yeah, I've really enjoyed breeding rainbow fish. It's been a great thing and I'm quite happy with the outcomes, and I'm quite surprised how easy it actually is. It's really not difficult at all. So have a go at it for sure, and yeah, check them out. Now, if you want to buy some of these rainbow fish and you're in the Netherlands, you can go down to my website, jtkeepingfish.com, and you can buy them there. So there'll be a product of like these guys, and you can click it. It'll probably say something like home bred or whatever, and yeah, click that, buy those. Come here if you want. I can even ship them. It's up to you. But yeah, check them out. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Also watch this video here next, where you can see how you cull fish. Basically the video I was talking about before. Yeah, watch that video because that's where I cull some of these fish, and it's important to know how to do that. So watch that video next. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.